We all want to be having an amazing day, but for so many of us, we struggle and we get down throughout our day. If you feel like you keep getting low energy and you keep getting sad, you're not alone. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be like that, and you can build out of it step by step. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 different ideas that you can start to think about whenever you wake up and you just feel like you want to roll back over. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Bennett Schwartz. I'm here to share some ideas that have helped me move the needle just a little bit, and I hope you find them beneficial. Throughout my 20s on the outside, it looked like I was a pretty happy kid, but there were certain things going on internally that I really didn't like. And it was something that I was constantly struggling about, and people would say, I need to see therapists, I need to do this, I need to do that, and none of that stuff really worked for me. And I realized that if I want things to change, then I am going to have to do something different, and I'm going to have to change myself. So I started to dive into this topic of really understanding why people get sad and down, and not talking about the clinical reasons, but understanding what it is that we can start to do when we're just in the funk and we're just having those blues. And I think that's why the first area that we need to think about is what is the source of the sadness. And I'm going to break down 3 common things that happen to me, and maybe you relate, and I'm going to show you how it is that I handle those. So the first thing that used to happen to me a lot was that people used to make comments or say things that I either got offended about or just were offensive to me. And I realized that that was something that really got me down, whether it was somebody that I really cared about or maybe somebody who I never met before. But I think what's really important there is to understand that they're allowed to have their opinions, and just because I don't fit into their opinions is something that is okay. And the way I used to frame it was to think about, what is my favorite color? My favorite color is green, which it is. Then you have the ability to have your own favorite color. And just because you think the nicest color in the world is blue and I disagree doesn't make me a bad guy. So just because somebody says something derogatory to you, that's just their opinion, and it's just like them thinking that their favorite color is blue. And once I was able to frame it like that, then you know what? I was able to start to think about, hey, I don't really care what they start to think about. And with me, as somebody who was a big people pleaser, it was something that was so hard for me. The second idea is experiential. You see, for so many of us, we go through things throughout our life, whether it's breaking up with a girlfriend or maybe failing a test, something that is going to be affecting us. And what we have to realize is that that thing is going to pass. Right now, this is like the biggest thing that is happening to us in the whole entire world. But to understand that about 6 months from now, 6 years from now, this might not be something that we're going to be thinking about every single day. And why one of the biggest questions I ask myself is, what is something that I could learn from this that can make me even better? So I'm not letting this thing affect me negatively, but it's something that I'm going to be able to learn from more positive. And trust me, I have a lot of experience with the breaking up thing, so I was able to learn a lot about myself. And the third thing that really struggled with me was not having the real direction that I wanted in life. You see, for me, being able to understand and know what I wanted to be doing with my life was something that was so important, and yet I wasn't able to find it. However, I kept getting frozen and I wasn't able to make decisions to move forward, which only inhibited my direction. Instead of me getting on a train and looking to just get off the next stop, I wasn't even able to step foot onto the train. We all have different things that are happening in our lives, and maybe a lot of us have clarity in terms of what is going to be going on, but I find so many people, and especially nowadays, they're just clueless with what it is that they want to be doing. They want to feel a certain way, they want to be having certain experiences, but they don't even know what those things are. If we can start to break down and take experiences and move forward with our life, that's going to be the thing that's going to allow us and enable us to move forward with the direction that we want to be going. But what we have to understand is that we have to be able to take that action to move that step forward. Once we're able to take that action, it's going to breed more action and more action and more action. We're going to be able to really take advantage of our lives and the way that we want to be living. The second category that we need to start to think about is, what is it we can start to put into our lives to allow ourselves to have a more exciting and a more fulfilling type of life. You see, right now we're probably sleeping a lot, we're probably on social media a lot, and we're not doing so many productive things, and therefore we're staying in this negative spiral. And what we need to do is we need to be able to pull ourselves out in order to be able to move forward in different directions of life. So here are 3 different things that you can start to do that I know have helped me throughout different times in my life. The first thing is journaling. You see, for me, journaling was something so powerful, and honestly is one of those things that I probably don't want to read the early journals because I was probably so negative. I was writing down all the different ideas and thoughts that I had, which weren't really the greatest, and worst off, I was probably writing down the way that I felt. But to understand that, you know what, I have the ability to be able to get my thoughts out on paper and to have even more creativity and to move forward and to understand what's going on allows me to see patterns that are happening in my life, so then I can look to start to attack them. I can start to see what has been happening in my life at that time to why it is that I started to get burnt out, why it is that I didn't like that job anymore, what it is that I can start to do, when did I feel the most exciting. And if you're not documenting your life, then you're probably not being able to understand what what is going on because we're constantly looking for things to change, but we don't know what it is we even need to be changed. The second thing that I've done that have been extremely helpful was deep breathing. It doesn't mean you have to do any meditation, but to actually just sit and be able to breathe could be something that could be so helpful for you. I'm sure there's a lot of scientific health around it as well, but just practically, if you could just slow down, not be distracted, and just be able to think for a little bit, it could be something that could be so powerful. I also remember for over a year, I had my own mindset coach, which was so beneficial. I started doing manifestations and it really helped me be able to move forward and to really see what it is that I wanted to be doing in my own life. And the third thing that I think is really important is the crew that you hang out with. I talk about this a lot, but really hanging out with the people that are going to be in the same direction as you is going to be really important. For some reason, people who are miserable always tend to find each other. And there are certain people in my life that I know that are more negative, and I try to stay away from them. And even if I have to be around for social events and whatnot, I really try not talking to them, or I don't like talking about the specific topics that I know they're just going to talk down upon. It's one of those fixes that a lot of people could do, but it is not easy. And we all have the ability to start to change that by finding the right people that we want to be having in our life. The third idea that we have to start to implement are things throughout our day that could really just boost ourselves. You see, when a car is dead, you can go over and give it a shock and revive the car. And that is something that we might need also. Sometimes we might feel like we're down, but what is it that we can start to do to shift that energy? The first thing that you can actually do is to take a cold shower. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds very Tony Robbins-ish, but guess what? It really, really works. It's one of those things that when you take a cold shower, your energy levels are just up. There's no way about it, and you're doing something physical to your body to enable it to really just shock itself to wake up. It's why sometimes in the middle of the afternoon, I'll take a shower when I'm feeling a little tired. But to understand that if you can start to get into a cold bath or a cold shower, that could be something that could really start to give you that energy. The next thing that I like to do is I like to listen to music, whether it's pump up music or epic instrumental. That is something that can get you really excited, to get you moving, just to start to take that action. Really getting moving is the hardest part. And the fact that we can listen to music and get ourselves excited in order to take that action, that can start to breed more action to get moving forward. And the third thing you can start to do is you can start to work out. This is actually one of my earlier YouTube videos where I spoke about why I would like working out in the afternoon. And the reason is that it gives me energy for the second half of my day. For some reason, which makes sense, I'm always tired at the second half of the day. But if I can get a workout in around 12:30, 1 o'clock, that could be something that could really just give me and boost me my second half of the day. So understanding that you can do physical things to yourself, to give yourself to take that action, that can be something that can be really beneficial. And as a bonus, here's a question that I would ask myself if I was you. What is the next action that I need to be taking in order to move forward? You see, for so many of us, we get so overwhelmed with what it is we need to be doing, and therefore we don't do anything. We get down and we just continue down that spiral. We have to be able to move forward, and we have to be able to take that action. So stop worrying what's going to happen in action 5, 6, or 7, and understand what is the next action I need to be taking, and just worry about that. Take the pressure off. Just do that one thing today in order to help you move forward. And if you're the type of person who is constantly waiting for the weekends, make sure to take a look at this next video so you can take advantage of the whole week.